So now do you think I care when they get on the news and call me a kook and a nut when I know all this? I mean, it's like, you're victims too, morons. You're under psychological warfare attack. And you need to be aware of it. Look at these headlines. Steve Jobs didn't let his kids use iPads. Gray matter. Too much screen time damages the brain. Psychology Today. No, any screen time does. Smartphones, iPads hurt toddlers' ability to learn, socialize. What your brain looks like after a Netflix binge. Huffington Post. And what's it look like? Lower brain waves forever. The idiot box. How it's turning us all into zombies. It's been called the idiot box since the 50s. You ever sat there and looked at your children when they're watching TV and their mouths are open? They're like, it's like the Body Snatchers or something. There's parks, there's rivers, there's mountains, there's you could go join a boxing club, a jiu-jitsu club, you could go join clubs that go out and look for fossils. I mean, there's just such an incredible universe around us, but the globalists want us looking into the little universe they control, where they can feed us all these false narratives and prey on the population. And it's not just electronic brainwashing. It's not just the flicker rate. Once you're in the mesmerized field, once you're under the trance, the literal trance, once you're under a spell, once you're in the flicker fusion threshold, once you're under its control, what does it do? It takes wholesome images, just like a block of cheese, a slice of cheese, of delicious cheddar, on the mouse trap. But the mouse doesn't know that it's about to get its neck broken. And it goes over, and it starts eating the cheese, and it steps on that lever. Whap! Dead mouse. But see, they kill you with poison in the cheese, and you go off and die a month later. You go off and die 10 years later, and you don't even know what hit you. And the computers are all in place, run by the company that ran the Nazis. IBM is now in full control of the global health algorithm and can block diagnoses, can hide what's happening, can control, can discover when doctors are finding out about something, can shut off funding, because the Nazis were going to take over the planet with the eugenics technology they learned from the U.S. and England. They were told they were going to be allowed to, and they were set up and brought down. Doesn't mean they were good. They were just set up. This is all mainline Nuremberg trials. Fluoride in the water, all of it. They were going to go in and put fluoride in the water. They were going to engineer food and lace food. They were already working on finding the genome. They've been given all the Cold Springs Harbor data, and they brought it to the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, and they were going to engineer food that dumbed down and phased out the sub-races, as they called them. That entire program has then been readopted back into the United States. When 36,000 Nazis were brought over here after World War II, a lot of them were just coming back to where they'd already been trained. And they were put in command of all the major universities, almost every one. They were put in control of all of NASA. They were put in control of the CIA. They were put into the FBI. They were put into every division. And not because they were the body of the Hydra. They were just a loving, sweet little head coming back to mommy to get milk. It was a hurt little head that had been kind of squashed, but was only used to bring in the larger globalist program of soft kill, and the cartoon Nazis in their thug uniforms and everything was just how they'd been trained and set up by Lord Milner and others. And it was like, it's okay now. We crushed you. We're going to bring you home. Call it Cobra, call it Spectre, call it Hydra. It is the shadow global criminal network that are eugenicists. I'm going to skip this network break. This information is too important, but no more today, I promise. Thank you. So that's just one little article I have about, let's not exaggerate, probably 150, 200 here, I don't know. In fact, at the end of the show today, guys, I want you to come in and count these articles just to see if I'm exaggerating. Here, this stack right here. This stack right here, I bet, is about 30 articles. 30, 50, 80, 100. Yeah, it looks about 130. Each one of them just as incredible, just as over the top, just as revealing, just as much in your face. Because they can be in your face now because it's all wide open. They've got most of the public in a trance state. Now, speaking of what happens once you're in a trance state, I saw this yesterday. We had it DVR'd here at the office when I got here. And then Rob Dew found, let's not exaggerate, I think more than 10 others. And everyone's the same. Men are lazy idiots, trendies, non-threatening trendies, hipsters. Their women are in command. And the women use smart grid, mobilize your future, your world, apps to watch their husbands on cameras, to open the doors, to turn on the alarms, and the men are basically absolute idiots. Now, in all the ads I saw, they're trendies, except for this one. He's more of a football player type, cool jock dad, what every woman, thinks she wants, and she's real loving and sweet. She makes the decisions, though, in the house, which 80% of purchases are decided by women. And it's been like that in every culture, back at the hut, back at the cave. The men go out, fight, die, bring down the big animals, do all that, come back, and then trust their women, because it's all part of the family. It's one unit to raise the children. But see now, he doesn't raise the children. The AT&T NSA-run grid, with the woman teamed up, with the house slave, because the Romans did this. It wasn't just in the South here where the black woman was brought in, learned to read and write, put in charge of a lot of the house affairs, and then she kept the men down and would spy on them, who would literally sleep on the dirt or in hay straw and would bend down to her. That's from Roman manuals over 2,000 years old, with their German and Gaulish French slaves, and their Austrian slaves, and their Albion slaves, their British slaves, their pit slaves. They bring the women in, and they watch the other men. And this is how it is. This is our bondage. And women have been told. Women know. They go, I am now with the state. It is my friend. It tells me I win. All the movies show me as the hero now. The men are down. The fall of men is here. That's right. The fall of humankind is here. We're going down. We're on fire. We're hit hard. We're killing our babies. It's one unit. Men and women together are the species as a team. Men have been turned into Arrested Development snot noses. And the women go out and get an Arrested Development snot nose, and then they're not happy and turn them loose and go, well, then I want a woman who's butch, because I'm looking for a man. And the only role where somebody can be manly is if they are a Janet Reno. And so then they go and live together and create a husband and wife scenario with their own sex. When you want to take out fire ants, there's different systems to develop, but they've got some that hit the sexual procreation. You sterilize them. And see, we've just been hit just as much as when alien spacecraft landed and took over our society through AI and was running all this. I mean, it might as well be that, as I've said 100 times. It's that over the top. And I want to air this ad here as we skip our own. This is not paid. The next thing people, the fake story will be that I'm running AT&T ads. The point is that this is the brainwashing that they're engaged in. I just think it's interesting that we're skipping our ads to play one of their ads. Where in every ad, that we pulled up. There's a whole series of these. They're on YouTube. I saw this on the Weather Channel yesterday morning. That the man is a complete bumbling idiot. But don't worry, Mama's got the AI computer. Mama's got the system watching him. You know, Dad forgets to open the door for the dog sitter. Don't worry, the computer will do it. Dad forgets to arm the alarm. Don't worry, Mom will do it. Don't worry, Dad fell asleep on the couch and the kids are up. Mom is going to, you know, Big Brother talk to him. See, Big Brother's nice. Big Brother's helpful. And then he forgets, you know, to turn the lights off. Well, she does that. But she loves him. She says, I love you. And that's what they would do. You know, they describe it, translated out of Latin into French and then into English, that half the blacks would die when they were shipped over in a coffin ship. They'd cram so many down the bottom. A lot of times, the sailors would die. In fact, on every mission, about 10% would die as well. Just horrible. That's how cheap life was. And when they got there, they said, pick out whoever the leader is, whoever people are looking to, and basically beat him to death. And then take a boy, 5, 6, 7 years old, and whip him. And tell the women, through the translators that you'll have on the ship, this is right when they get to the slave block, in New York or wherever, or Virginia, beat them right there in front of them within an inch of their life, and you tell them, you keep these men in line or we're going to kill them all. That's what they tell women today. You keep your men in line if you want to be safe. You do what the state says. Now, within a few generations of that, the women just hate the men and prey on them. And this is our journey into total slavery. This is who we are now. And it doesn't matter what sitcom or what drama it is, dads are bad, dads are stupid, dads are lazy. Unless they've got gay friends, or unless they've married a minority. And again, I'm not even demonizing these messages. The point is, they're unified messages of social engineering. And when you see these messages, you need to understand you're not in Kansas anymore. Imagine, every message is that men are bad. Every message is that men are no good. And it's there to hurt women, the main target, who are the species. Women are the species. And they convince them to love their slavery. Just like the Uncle Tom in Django. That's what our women have been taught, to fight to the death of the state, to thank the state for everything it does to them. Let's go ahead and to think all their frustrations and problems are in the failed men who were raised to be failures by their mothers, who were told to henpeck them into submission and to make them weak. I remember being 6 years old, walking out the back door with a double-barreled 12-gauge shotgun and a pistol holstered on my side. 6, 7 years old. And my grandmother looking at me while she was sitting there cooking food and going, be safe, sweetheart. And she just looked down while she was cooking with pride. She wanted a man. She wanted a strong tribe. She wanted her progeny to go to the stars, not fail. She was a real woman. Not these things we've got running around today, and not these men. These aren't men either. Where is your pride to stand against this, women, when every ad has men being crap? What does that tell you about this system? What it wants to do to us? Let's now go to the evil ad from AT&T.
Piece of bacon with your egg and the omelet for the king.
Okay, babe, you got this, right?
Yeah, that's a piece of cake. I got this.
All right, good luck.
He doesn't work. She does.
All right, everybody got their bags and lunches? And how do we get to your school?
Keeping things under control is now easier than ever. AT&T Digital Life Home Security and Automation lets you stay connected to your home.
See, it's supposed to be men that are over. They're thinking about security. See, everything's reversed.
866-595-7988 today.
Oh, see, he forgot to let her in.
Digital Life package.
Piece of cake, huh?
Call right now to get smart security
Hit
equipment
pause.
plus an outdoor video camera.
Back it up 15 seconds. See, oh, he forgot to let the dog sitter in. She goes, piece of cake, huh? Everything she does is diss her husband, unaffirm him. She'll put her boys on Prozac. She'll put them on Ritalin. She'll stun them. She'll hit them. She'll win. She'll win. Let's go back to her.
Guess you forgot about the dog walker.
Call 1-866-595-7988 today for our special $99 Digital Life package.
Piece of cake, huh?
Call right now to get smart security equipment plus